It doesn't take you long to realize you're in a place a little out of the ordinary when you arrive in Havana. The throbbing sounds of American V8s take you back to the 1950s. The riot of vintage chrome and white-walled tyres place you in a land that time has forgot, and in many respects it has. In 1959, Castro and Guevara marched into Havana and turned the world upside down. A communist revolution 90 miles from the coast of the United States. A dictatorship in sight of the Florida Keys. Vieja is Spanish for old, and Havana Vieja is the oldest part of the city. These days it has become a tourist bubble, its immaculately restored buildings and clean streets a world apart from the realities of Castro's Cuba. Perhaps the most authentic part of Old Havana is Plaza de Armas. This lovely square hosts a daily second-hand book market where, if you read Spanish, there are plenty of opportunities to buy possibly every book written about the revolution, Castro, Guevara, and many other figures from Cuban history. A short walk from Plaza de Armas is the cathedral, built between 1748 and 1777. For many years under Castro's regime, religion was frowned upon. It took a visit by Pope John Paul II to Cuba before some tolerance of worship was introduced. To the northern edge of Old Havana is the Museum of the Revolution. It is, perhaps with suitable irony, that it's situated in the former presidential palace. Havana has been home to numerous authors, two of the most famous being Hemingway and Graham Greene. The latter wrote Our Man in Havana from the Hotel Seville. Bordering the western edge of Old Havana is the imposing Capitolio building. Completed in 1929 as the Cuban Parliament, it now houses the Cuban Academy of Science. Based on the Capitol building in Washington, it manages to be both bigger and grander. Near the Capitolio is Parque Central, a shady square featuring a monument to the independence leader Jose Marti, and bordered by the majestic Grand Theatre of Havana, home to the world-renowned Cuban National Ballet, and the Hotel Inglaterra, one of the oldest colonial hotels in the city. Havana Centro is the vast, sprawling central residential district of the city. Whilst the tourist dollars are spent restoring the colonial buildings of Old Havana, the harsh realities of Castro's revolution can be seen by those who venture into its canyon-like streets. Most Cubans survive on salaries of around $20 per month, whether you are a doctor or a road sweeper. Apart from the bare essential foods such as rice, most items, if available, have to be paid for in hard currency. A carton of powdered milk can cost 2 weeks' salary. The large tourist trade has created a dual society. Cubans who have contact with tourists can earn extra cash from tips and from providing other services such as taking tourists to bars, selling cigars on the street, and prostitution. Many of the buildings in central Havana are crumbling away, especially those close to the sea. Most residents do not possess the money to renovate the apartments, and so, on an almost daily basis in the wet season, buildings collapse into the streets. Despite the incredible hardships, the Cuban people retain a dignity and pride that would seem difficult to understand in our world. This can best be seen by spending an evening along the Malecón, Havana's famous seawall. Musicians practice, families walk with their children, kids walk their dogs. As the sun sets, the warm Caribbean light brings out the colours in the weather-beaten colonial buildings. Havana is transformed into a beautiful artwork, the jewel of the Caribbean.